Well, hello, welcome back to the radio room. Still playing with the SBE Model 34. Just trying to see if I can get some life out of it. I've gotten just a little bit of life out of it. I think it was maybe receiving, or let me amend that. I think it was kind of working during the last video. There just wasn't enough signal from anything to really hear anything. After I'd gotten done with that video, I was playing around with it. Still had it onto the antenna system. Just playing with knobs, tuning around a little bit, and I heard voices, and I am talking the faintest of voices down on 75 meters. So, and I mean, it was glue your ear to the speaker type reception. But I could tune them and I could understand them. So that tells me there's promise here. One thing, and I was thinking, well, okay, I had the volume all the way turned up completely all the way, and could just barely hear anything. Like, well, maybe the audio amplifier isn't out. And I said yesterday, well, I think it still is because I can hear scratchy. Well, it turns out in the service manual, you can definitely tell this service manual is from the good old days in the 1970s, where they have a test for the audio amplifier to make sure it's working, to narrow that out as being a problem, because it says that if you can't find a peak, like if you're in the 40 meter band and you're tuning back and forth with what we're going to call the pre-selector, the main tuning or the main band switch knob. Remember, it had some adjustment to it that you look for the peak, worked as a pre-selector. That if you couldn't find a peak, check to make sure the audio amplifier was working. So I did, and ladies and gentlemen, this is following the service manual. So what it says is to turn the radio on, let it sit there a few seconds, basically, to full volume. You can hear that scratch in there. That's why I was thinking the audio amplifier probably isn't a problem. The next step is find Q2, which is in the audio amplifier chain. Put your finger on the base of Q2, and with another finger touch the collector of Q20. Q20 is the audio amplifier transistor. It's actually the back one right here that I was saying was replaced. It says Archer on it. It says touch that briefly. If you hear a loud squeal, the audio amplifier circuitry is working correctly. So, let's try this. Now, mind you, there is a 300 volt capacitor on the other side of the board with the leg sticking through, which is really, really close to where you got to put your finger. But here goes nothing. Just got to find that one again. Okay, I know where I got to put my finger now. First off, if you can hear that buzzing, that's a good sign. That audio amplifier is actually picking up 60 hertz noise from going through me into the base of it. So this may be a loud squawk, so I'd turn your volume down now if you want to. The audio amplifier section apparently is fine, and I pretty much knew that as soon as I stuck my finger in there. So I got to playing around, and I've kind of been playing with things this morning. Don't really have a whole lot of improvement on anything, but it does kind of hear. I do have the radio on 40 meters right now, and the dial turned to approximately 1 point. Well, it may be way off. I got 1.16. Yeah, it's off, way off. But I found my signal generator with tuning around. I got the signal generator 7.16. We're sitting at 7.11. So there might be some adjustment there that needs to be done, but you got to listen carefully for this. I'm hoping y'all can hear that. Let me tune it just a little bit so you can hear a variation in frequency. Now, mind you, that is probably like a negative, or let's see, that's a negative 58.5 dBm, so we're looking somewhere around in the S9 plus 15-ish signal level going into this thing. I can't change the tone. It's just some capacitance with my finger. So I'm kind of wondering if we got something dirty, or if we got like an IF or an RF amplifier that's out. I'm really hoping not. This has some very old germanium transistors in it, and I'm just not sure I'm going to be able to find replacements for it. But it does kind of work. I've found a signal on 40 meters where I'm at now, and I've also found one down on 75 meters with the signal generator. So there is some life to it. It's just not amplifying it very much, it seems like. So I think the next step is, it's hard to diagnose anything when you have a lot of variables. And one variable that's usually very easy to narrow out of it is clean contacts, clean switches. Make sure that that's not what's causing your problem. Now, if I was reading correctly in the service manual, the volume doesn't directly affect just the volume. When you adjust the volume, you also adjust the AGC in it. So there could be an AGC problem as well. If the AGC is clamping down, even with the volume all the way up, that would cause a very low signal. It could be the RF amplifier or the IF amplifier, which are both in this board right here. We have a transistor for the RF amplifier, and then I believe this is Q9, which I believe is an IF amplifier that's on the tuner board here. I don't know if I can find replacements for those. They're germanium transistors. I have looked up a couple of transistors in this radio for cross-referencing applicable substitutions, and yeah, keeps coming up with zilch. So unless I can find some new old stock, I don't know if that's the problem, what it's going to be. Of course, I've looked at circuitry, checking out this transistor. It looks to be a PNP, bipolar junction transistor. With the circuitry around it, it's hard to test it in circuit. So if I want to pull, I'd have to pull that out in order to do a regular transistor check on it, which wouldn't be terribly hard, but yeah, it's possible. So what I'm thinking is that the next step I need to make is, let's clean the volume knob. Let's clean all the potentiometers on the front. Let's get in right here. This is the band switch. I've opened up the RF cage here. It's in the bottom of the radio. And I'm going to see if I can clean up these two wafers. Maybe that'll help a little bit. It did seem to have a little bit of a waver to the tone before. It doesn't seem to be doing it right now, but it would change tone just a little bit while I was just sitting there. And that was me just adjusting the tuning knob. So maybe it's a stability deal, maybe it has to warm up a little bit, I don't know. But I'm thinking, let's clean things up and see where we're at after that. That'll give us a good baseline to know, hey, it's probably not switches, not just dirty contacts, not letting some stuff through, and see where we go from there. So let me go ahead and spray this up a little bit, work some controls, and we'll come back and see if it makes any improvement. Okay, well, we're back, and I have cleaned all the potentiometers up, and I went ahead and put the RF cage back on, but there's 2 wafer switches in there that I cleaned up. I got power going back to the radio now. I also went through and tightened loosened and retightened a lot of the board connection screws. I'm thinking possibly there could be a little bit of a ground problem on that. However, I don't think that's quite the story, because the way the screws go in, they didn't look like they were necessarily being used for grounding. So, I guess I'll turn this on. I got the signal generator set to pretty much the same level we had before. Let's see here. I think I'm just a little high. 58.5 dBm, 7.16 megahertz, and I'll go ahead and turn it on. I'm not hearing anything right now. Let's see if I can tune around a little bit and find it. Helps turn the radio on. Oh. Well, that is full volume. Well, one thing I do notice, we are actually just about where we're supposed to be on the scale. I'm just using the dial calibrate to get it a little closer. Also switching between the side bands. So it doesn't look like we really made any progress just by cleaning stuff up. The pitch control works. What if we got a calibrator now? Let me oh, the calibrator does work. So that switch might have been dirty, because before I couldn't get the calibrator to work. It is no stronger than the other signal that I'm putting into it, so I still think we got possibly an RF amplifier issue. The transistor right there possibly. These are in sockets. I might be able to just pull that out, check it, and put it back in, or it could be dirty. Those look like they're in sockets. I'll have to take a closer look, but just thought I'd make a maybe relatively kind of quick video. Let me shut this off. I don't know how loud that is. I got the microphone really close to it. Oh, I guess I got the crowd turn the calibrator off, it'll turn off. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Still got a little scratch in the volume right up there near max. But other than that, I guess we'll just go ahead and keep exploring on this. I'll go ahead and wrap the video up here, see if I can ponder some things, see if I can come up with some tests to make sure we're in good shape. I want to check that too. Looks like somebody got a little close with a soldering iron to that wire. It doesn't look like it's broke, but check a few more things out, see if we can kind of bring this radio back to life. Just kind of playing out here in the radio room. Wanted to kind of mess around with the radio, see if I can get it to do anything. And it does a little bit of something, just not very loudly. So thanks for stopping by the radio room, and maybe we'll continue with this radio and see if we can't get it going. But right now it's just out here kind of playing around, seeing if anything just magic wanted to happen. Thanks for stopping by the radio room. We'll see you next time.